We talk about value and exchange, and there are 6 domains of value, and this is not an arbitrary number. It's not we plucked it out of the sky and 6 is it. It's actually based on one of the laws of universe, Bucky Fuller's 12 degrees of freedom. So 12 degrees of freedom is how to stabilize any system in space. The one that you would know of is that if you've ever ridden a hub and spike bicycle, a bicycle that has wheels that have hub and spokes, if you've ever lost a spoke, you'll understand that the wheel becomes unstable. And so in order for stability, you need to have the hub needs to have 6 on the top and 6 on the bottom to stabilize it. That's a stable system. It's duplicable, replicable in every circumstance to stabilize anything. And it's also this model over here. Is the vector equilibrium, also called the cube octahedron, and Bucky called it the jitterbug because but there are a couple of features around this. Clearly there's triangles and squares that are their interface. But if you put a center point in the middle, right in the middle here, each vector to each vertex is equidistant. This is the other thing about the jitterbug, is that it's a dynamic, and it actually goes from the cube octahedron vector equilibrium down into an octahedron and can go all the way down into a, which I can't duplicate on this, but you can see a video of it, goes all the way down into a tetrahedron. And so if you're wanting to create a system that stabilizes any other system and also is a living, breathing entity, there's a demonstration of it lives and breathes. Our model for value, accounting for value and ensuring exchange is actually based on the 12 degrees of freedom, and it is a living system, which anything in the syntropic world is a living system. So it's not a mathematical, mechanistic data entry, linear processing, which is what all of the hard data, including AI, is. And so it also includes, in those domains, it also includes the warm data. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the term warm data, which is Nora Bateson's term. Yeah, and so it includes the warm data and well-being and so on. So it includes all of the dimensionality, which is half of the world, that is weightless, immeasurable. So that's what the 6, that's why it's 6 in, 6 out, 12 in total. You can have more than 6. But if you have 5, you don't have a stable system. Right. And so that's why the number is important. And we are very, very particular with our language, particularly trying to move away from not just the language of capitalism and extraction to extinction, but also the military industrial language like impact, which means to hit hard. Etymologically, that's the source. That's one of the disciplines of the syntropic world, is to really always go back to source. So the source of the word, the source of money, the source of financialization, the source of whatever it is that you're looking at, is to really understand that the original expression of it, and what was the pattern integrity woven into that. And so from our perspective, or my perspective particularly, the original pattern integrity of capitalism is into extinction and exploitation and poverty by design. And if you really look at capitalism, then capitalism and human rights, justice, and democracy are incompatible. Which one do you want? So that's, and the 6 domains, it's always been an experiment, but the 6 domains that we talk about, I'm not wedded to the words themselves, but so far it's really demonstrated a working model to cover everything. That's the purpose. We cover everything in those 6. And so that includes matter, which is atoms and stuff. Currency, which is anything that's in a flow state, including monetary, debt, bonds, energy, time, so on. Knowledge, particularly knowledge in use, because knowledge not in use is not really of any value, but knowledge, tools and technology, which can include language. It doesn't have to be like a hammer on a computer. It can be language, it can be processes for facilitation, it can be how to cook your favorite dish can be a tool or a technology, you know. Then warm data, which I kind of explained, which is all of the relational stuff, all of the trans-contextual things, the things that happen in the invisible world, but also that informs meaning and purpose and belonging and so on, love and beauty, etc., etc. And then well-being, however you want to describe that. And so you have 6 domains, and there's always a polarity in every syntropic system, because in order to have existence, you need polarity to hold anything in shape. You can consider what you have, the capacity, willingness, and desire to bring to something in those 6 domains, which gives agency and so on to the person offering their bringing. They get to choose what they have the capacity, willingness, and desire to bring. And then you also have, for that bringing, what you expect in return in those 6 domains. That's one way of looking at it for an entity. So a business or a community or a cooperative or a whatever, you can look at what do we have around us in abundance and what do we have in scarcity. So going back to the 1971 experience in Curitiba, they had abundance of public transport that was underutilized, and they had an abundance of food, and they had an abundance of garbage. And so they married an unmet need with an unused resource to create a complementary currency using a token, physical token. No computer technology required. And so there are many different ways, but there's always this exchange between the input, the output, or the give, the take, the abundance, the scarcity. There's a complementarity in the synergistic audit experience.